When talking about the best linebacker units in the ACC, Clemson, Florida State, the likely candidates come to mind, but Wake Forest was definitely right there, especially when talking about the first unit. Unfortunately, Brandon Chubb, first team All-ACC, 94 stops, 8.5 tackles for loss, gone. Hunter Williams, gone after 7.5 tackles for loss and 60 total tackles. We bring in Robert Reinhard from Blogger So Dear to talk about the Wake Forest linebacking unit in 2016. So it starts with Marquel Lee, had a nice season as well, right along those two that I mentioned, Robert. So can you kind of run us through what we expect to see this fall, losing two of the best players on the team from 15?
Yeah, definitely big losses in Brandon Chubb and Hunter Williams, as you mentioned, sort of tackling machines. Chubb has been an anchor on that defense for the past 3 years for us. And, he's obviously a major loss. And then Hunter Williams, pretty incredible story, started as a walk-on, actually, earned a scholarship and then became a team captain. But Marquel Lee is back, as you mentioned, had 10 tackles for loss last year, more than 70 tackles. And he's a very large man. He's an athletic specimen for us. And, I think that'll sort of be a theme of our linebacker core this year in general is, we may be a little bit worse against the run. We were 27th best rush defense last year. Now, that's not all linebackers. That has to do with, your entire defense. But I think we're going to be faster and better in pass coverage from our linebackers. And we're going to need to be a little bit because our defense was 83rd in pass defense last year. So in addition to Lee, we're going to have Jabari Williams, who played as a rotational player as a backup role last year, and he actually played as a true freshman the year before, sort of more on special teams. And then Zach Wary is a player, had an offer, more of a gray shirt offer to Arkansas coming out of high school, but he's a redshirt sophomore, so he's a player I'm definitely excited about, had a pretty good spring. And then Demetrius Kemp, he's sort of this safety rover hybrid. He'll be a redshirt sophomore. And then Grant Dawson actually played a decent amount last year, and he was originally a walk-on. So I think overall we will be more athletic, probably not as deep and probably not as good up top. But, with Lee and Williams and Wary, I think we can be pretty solid. And I think, our defensive line should be better, which should free up the offense, free up our linebackers to sort of attack more. So it's sort of a question mark at the position, but I think they'll be good enough and they'll be solid.
And you've got a new linebacker coach with Clark Lee coming in from Syracuse.
Yeah. Have a new linebacker coach doing some shifting around there. Warren Beeline, he's still with the program, but he's working more in the recruiting office there. And Beeline has a lot of experience with the Panthers, and he actually played at Wake. But we have a number of commits coming in for 2017. So I don't know how well Lee can coach it at this point, but it seems like he's doing a pretty good job on the recruiting trail. So hopefully that will translate to, having some good energy on the sidelines and being able to develop the players with a good technique. So definitely interesting coaching staff, and we'll see what happens this season.
All right, talking up the Deacons linebacking core with Robert Reinhard from Blogger So Dear. Appreciate the time, Robert.
Hey, thanks. Always a pleasure.